Okay, so 6.5 is really just a summary of all the different methods we used and to figure out which is the best method to solving a system of equations. So the first method we did graphing, then we did substitution. This is when we have one of the variables isolated. Elimination and addition, that's when we have opposite coefficients. Elimination using subtraction, that's when we have the same coefficient. And elimination or using multiplication is when neither of the variables can be eliminated by adding or subtracting. So in this first one, we want to determine the best method to solve each system of equations and then solve. Now, we're not going to be using graphing for any of these, so I want you to choose one of those four methods to solve each of these. You're going to do the same thing for homework. So I notice I have two that have the same coefficient. So I'm going to do elimination by subtraction, and I'll just kind of abbreviate that way. So elimination and then a minus sign. So I'm going to subtract everything on the bottom. That's going to give us a 7x equals a -7. Go ahead and solve. We get x equals -1. And then we plug it back into one of the top equations. It doesn't matter which one. Divide, and we should get y equals 1. So our answer is -1, 1. And again, we solved that using elimination by subtraction. Okay, for B, this one, I can't just add, I can't just subtract, and substitution isn't going to work. But if I multiply this by 2, that will make that a -8y, and underneath it a +8y. So this I'm going to use elimination by multiplication. So we get 6x minus 8y equals -20. Copy down the other equation. Combine. So I'm going to get 11x equals -22. And then go ahead and plug back in. Maybe I'll plug it into the second equation. And we should get y equals 1. So my answer is -2, 1. Next one, I see that I have a variable that is isolated. So I am going to actually use substitution here. So I'm going to substitute y with 4x plus 11. Make sure to combine like terms and then just go ahead and solve. So I get x equals -3. And then for y, I'm going to substitute that back in. So I get -3, -1. And lastly, I see these are opposites of each other, so I'm going to do elimination by adding. So I get 5x equals 10. So x equals 2. I'm going to plug into the second equation. Again, it doesn't matter which one. But when I divide, anything divided by 0 divided by anything is just going to be 0. So my solution is 2, 0.